Greetings. I want to take on a little discussion about points in time. Yeah, in our lives, in the world, and people around us. It has seemed to me, just from living observation over time, that you could take an idea and throughout your life, you could push that idea forward and try to push that idea forward and push that idea forward, and nothing happens. It falls dead. But all of a sudden, you'll find one moment where when you push that idea, suddenly everything clicks and wow, it works. And you get movement, people start to change their minds, whatever it is you're working with. These moments are moments that I call aperture moments. No, this is not going to be found, as far as I know, in any dictionaries or anything anywhere. Aperture is generally considered the opening in your camera lens. Yeah, it's the adjustment of how much light is coming in and out. It's an opening, and it's variable in size. This is why I tend to call it aperture moment. These moments, in my opinion, come in personal moments. They come in regional moments. Yeah, maybe a county, maybe a city, maybe something may be happening that could affect everybody. Okay, they come in national moments where everybody can be affected by what happens at that moment. They become global too. Yeah, they're big and small, kind of like black holes. Yeah, it seems like, like I say, you push that rock up a hill, but all of a sudden, things happen. In my opinion, in the nature of an aperture moment is that free will and our thoughts, our choices, can change everything at that point. Whether it's in our lives, we call it epiphany. If we act on it in our lives, everything from that point outward will change. Same thing, regional aperture moments. People have a chance to change things big time, or leave them alone and keep them the way they were, and so on. These are the moments, and they only occur every once in a while within the field of time, at least from my point of view. And I think one of the easier ways to try to illustrate this is with an analogy of using tapestry, using weaving. If we were to consider our reality and our personal lives as, fine weaving, a tapestry on a wall. It has a pattern. Pattern is very important here. All right, so take that analogy and say your life is a blanket. It's a rug. And, there's a weaver. Okay, and so in that weaving, there's always going to be the warp and the weft that holds the entire thing together. All right, that stuff is not really part of what you see on the surface. It's the structure that every good rug has to have it. Otherwise, the rug falls apart. There's no rug. Yeah. And that's a basic cordage. That kind of creates a basic framework of our realities, in my opinion. That stuff is pretty standard from place to place, person to person. Well, then, over the top of that, there's more fill-in. Carl Jung, as a psychologist, would have called it the lath, did call it the lath, as in strips of wood in his day that we troweled plaster over. Okay? The lath would be something that's pre-existing within each and every one of us in this pattern that may be slightly unique. It's not always the same, yet it does shares archetypes culturally and so on. It's a structure that kind of comes in with us. Now, Jung called it lath. I think Buddhists and Hindus would refer to this as karma. It's the whatever it was from your previous lives that you've been working or not working with is going to come with you, and it's going to affect the nature of who you are when you come in. I think I saw this with my youngest son, who came into the world as a comedian. I'm serious. The kid was so young as an infant that we could not understand a word of what he was saying, yet he would babble, you know. Well, his older brother could understand the baby talk. Yeah. He's closer to infancy, I guess. And we'd ask him, you know, what in the heck is he going on about? Well, my older guy would say, well, he's telling a joke. I go, a joke? Yeah, he's telling a joke. Well, what's the joke? Well, older kid would tell me what the joke was, and I'd say, well, that's stupid. And he'd look at me and go, well, he's a baby, Dad. Yeah, he was no George Carlin, but I don't know where this came from, but he was born with this crazy sense of humor. I say it's part of the lath. Yeah, so in the weave, this is something that was unique that came in on top of the stuff that we all experience. Well, then when you start to work with this tapestry and you're weaving life along, you know, you're going to hit certain points in there, the ones that I call aperture moments, where maybe your personal life can change. And at that point, you had decisions you could make. And if you made one decision, the pattern ran off this way. If you made another decision, reality ran off the other way, you know. If you made no decision, maybe, who knows. But anyway, like I say, then they happen in regional ways. They happen in global ways. Right now, in my opinion, if you look at the rug that we're weaving, we've hit one of the big ones. Yeah, this is an aperture moment unlike none I have ever seen or felt. You know, since there is no really any rug, and I got no graphics or anything for any of this, these are just all sensations that I pick up. You know, things that flow up out of the mass consciousness, I guess. And I can tell you, it's a big one. Yeah, it's a big one, folks. So, bear that in mind. Decisions made right now may affect all the rest of history, maybe for everyone. Be thoughtful. Aloha.